Hi. Okay, Kitten is here, but he's terrorising something at the moment, and not at all interested in coming and saying hello. Those of you that are ronding about Teddy, he and Teddy get on really well. Made me very happy. Teddy is actually still the most important cat in my life. Always will be. Got a special bond. All right, here's a question. Susan says, isn't fear, because I made a video about feeling ready, and then Susan said, but isn't fear of weight gain rational? Society treats people who are in bigger bodies like they are second-class citizens. You lose your thin privilege when you gain weight, and you're perceived as less educated, poorer, and less trustworthy. And then someone else commented, that's exactly what I was thinking. Fear of weight gain is far from irrational when you live in a fat-phobic world. I wish more people who talk about ED recovery would acknowledge that. Well, if you read my book, you would know I do acknowledge that a lot, actually. And in all of my podcasts and shit like that, I interview people and we acknowledge that. No, I've never said that fear of weight gain to some degree is not rational. And I outline in Rehabilitate, Rewire, Recover what I call level 1 and level 2 fear of weight gain. So level 1 fear of weight gain is the fear of weight gain that everybody in our society has. And fear of weight gain itself as a society belief, that's irrational. But when you live in a society that's fearful of weight gain, then having your own fear of weight gain is not exactly irrational, because it is actually true that people judge you. That's just the truth. That's because we live in a culture, as I explained before, that believes that thin is good and fat is bad. And we get judged for being anything other than exactly that. Here he is. Oh, you're so feisty today. You sound feisty. However, there's a lot of things in life that it is relatively rational to be scared of. Cars are a good example of that. Cats are another one. You can get killed by a car. You can get killed in a car. People get killed in a car all the time. People get killed by cars all the time. However, we should have a healthy fear of cars. There's many things there's a degree to which it's healthy to be afraid of. However, if that fear gets out of control, then it stops being that and it turns into something destructive and limiting on your life. Now, a fear of cars is completely rational because they can kill you. The fear of weight gain that our culture has is not. It really isn't. It sort of was inspired by fashion, honestly, and it's not something that humans have had throughout our evolution by any means. So humans have tons of irrational belief systems. Religion is another one. Sorry for everyone who's religious, and I don't want to get into a religious argument, but it is. I'm just going to leave that there. So religion is an example of how human belief systems can be very strong with no scientific, rational, or any sort of grounding other than, well, this person said this however many years ago. Was it my mother used to, it's because I get into lots of arguments with my mum, like good-hearted ones, because she is Christian and I'm not. And, she'll say something and I'll say, well, how do you know that's true? And she'll say, well, because the Bible says it's true. And I'm like, well, how do you know that the Bible's true? And then she's like, because the Bible says it's true. Then my brain starts to melt because I can't deal with that argument. I'm definitely not hunting to upset any Christians here. I'm just trying to point out something that is not a rational argument. So who the fuck ever said that humans made up rational stuff all the time? Because we don't, and we don't have completely rational belief systems either all of the time. And the fear of weight gain that exists in our culture is not. So when you exist in a culture that has this irrational belief system, then it's the kind of thing where it's sort of, well, do you just go along with everybody else? Somebody did a really quick quote once, which was like, it's a sign of sickness to be well adjusted in a sick society or something like that. And that's the thing, that's what we're looking at here. Are you just just because you are well adjusted to a society that is messed up doesn't mean that that's healthy, actually. It doesn't mean that that's healthy and rational. And that's what a lot of us talk about this and are trying to actually change about our culture, because that's what needs to change. And it only changes one person at a time, though. So if you're going to sit there and go like, well, everyone else is scared of weight gain, so I'm going to continue completely wrecking my own life so that I can fit in with a sick culture, then not only are you doing yourself a disservice, because it is your life and you will not be happy when you're fighting with your body, I promise you. Not only is that affecting you, but it also adds to the problem that we have, because you are forcing yourself to take drastic measures a lot of the time just to fit into this mold that our culture has created that tells us what we should look like, that's completely irrational. Yet because people continue to do it and continue to believe in it and continue to act as if it's true, it kind of is true if you act as if it's true. So you're sort of outlining the entire fucking problem that we have here, that you're so afraid of having somebody else look at you and have a thought about you that you're going to bend your life in two so that you can try and fit in with a really messed up cultural belief system, rather than stand up and say, this cultural belief system that we have is shit and I'm not going to be a part of it anymore. So that's what really needs to happen. I get that that's hard. I get that I'm a person who is not in a larger body saying that, and I'm just in a normal sized body, and I still get it's hard. So I get that if you're in a larger body, it's even harder. I'm not sitting here pretending that, like it wouldn't be more difficult for a person in a larger body to say that. But the fact that it would be, because of the way that our culture is, almost makes it more important that all of us, regardless of the size of our body, stop pretending that this is okay and this is normal, because it's not. There are a lot of things that humans believe in that are not okay and not normal. This is another one of them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is stop caring so much about whether, if someone looks at you because you're in a larger body and they're like, they look at you and they think that they judge you. That's their problem. That is on them. And that's how you have to see it. Because the majority of people honestly don't. That's the truth. The majority of people do not judge people in larger bodies as less trustworthy or poorer and less educated. And if they do, they've got way more problems, and they are probably looking at all members of society with some similar sort of judgment, and they are absolutely not the type of person that you need to care about what they think. They're just not. But as long as you continue to use that fear to fuel your restriction, it's you that's going to suffer the most, because you're the one that's going to continue to have an eating disorder. So I don't think I really answered any question there. That was just rambling thoughts, but some part of it somewhere was probably important and somebody probably needed to hear it. And anyway, I'm going to get back to the kitten now, who is still purring.